Hey, this is Paul from Guitar World, and not too long ago, Orange Amps introduced the Tiny Terror amp, a 15-watt Class A all-tube portable amp with monster tone. And now, this year, we have the next logical progression, an amp that is truly frightening in a dual way, Orange's Dual Terror amp. Let's take a quick look at it. Keep in mind that the Tiny Terror was a 15-watt single-channel amp with 3 knobs. Now, what the Dual Terror does here is it adds a second channel with the same 3 knobs, and it made it a little bit fatter sounding. So, what's great about the Dual Terror is it's a 2-in-1 amp. Basically, you have the original Tiny Terror circuit on channel 1, and then the second channel gives you a fat channel, which is an additional Tiny Terror circuit, but with definitely a bassier and more distorted sound. Also, Orange Amps bumps up the power on the Dual Terror by making it a 30-watt amp, switchable between 30 to 15 to 7 watts of power. So you have the full quartet of EL84s, or you can knock it down to a duet of EL84s. The other thing is I have a 212 Orange cabinet here with 2 Celestion Vintage 30 speakers, so you can really hear how this amp sounds with Celestions. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let's begin with the Tiny Terror channel. I'm running the amp at the full 30 watts, which gives it a real wide sound. And I've set this pretty conservative as far as gain, and you can see where I have the tone and the volume right about here. So let's take a listen. Sticking with the same Tiny Terror channel, let's move the gain down a bit and really get a nice, clean tone. Now, the Tiny Terror channel can also get very distorted. You can just simply bump up the gain. I'm going to move the tone a little bit and just drop the volume here. Let's take a listen. Okay, so let's hear the Tiny Terror channel once again for reference, and then simply by flipping the switch, I'll go right to the fat channel. So here's the Tiny Terror channel. The fat channel certainly gives you a lot more body, and if you want to use that in a clean format too, or a blues, let's dial that tone in now. So as you just heard, the fat channel can certainly get some chime to it. Now let's bring it back to where it was meant to be, a liquid distortion channel. finally, let's just show you how the half power works really quick so you can hear the difference in tone when you cut it down. As I just played, I was in 30-watt power. Now, let's hear 30 watt really quick, and then I'm going to drop it down to half, which is 15. Even though it's called the dual terror, there are 3 things about this amp that make it frightening. Its portability, its monstrous tone, and 2 channels to get it from. As far as Class A amps in this size, this one is hard to beat. Definitely check it out.